my post-fight thoughts on Marquez versus Alvarado this past Saturday night on HBO. It went pretty much as I predicted and as I thought, minus the KO or TKO from Marquez, but it almost happened right on the money. I had I had him winning by TKO or KO in either 9 or 10 rounds, but it was a good fight, and that's what I really felt going into the fight because of their styles. And like I said, I'm not even tooting my own horn or anything, but uh, the way it went was just exactly how I thought it'd go, and it was not much of a fight early on, and Alvarado he wasn't even boxing. He just had his hands up and wasn't doing anything, wasn't throwing punches, even though he has those long arms. And Marquez was firing off his shots and doing his best, but they were just filling each other out the first few rounds, and slowly, but surely, Marquez started to land the harder shots and mix it up with combinations. And I thought it was a very good fight. And Alvarado, I think, looked kind of starstruck, or maybe gave Marquez too much respect. It could be a lot of different things. But Marquez, being the legend, the living legend, and the veteran that he is, he's a crafty fighter. And it wasn't till I'd say about the fourth or fifth round, or maybe even as early as the third round, where he started really trying to sit on his punches, and that's where you could see the power. But obviously, the best rounds were 8 and 9, where Alvarado was down, and then Marquez was down in the ninth. Um, but just overall, it was a very good fight, and um, also a good fight for them to throw at the Forum. They're gonna have more fights there, so there's something about Los Angeles County where when you have a fight there, a good chance that you're going to see some fireworks, because not too far from there, a few hours from there, if that, at the StubHub Center, or used to be the Home Depot Center, we've seen some great fights there as well. As for Marquez, of course, the elephant in the room last night was a fifth fight with Manny Pacquiao, and for that was for either winner, and that winner was obviously Marquez. And Bob Arum has made it very clear that he wants a fifth fight between the two. And uh, Max Kellerman last night, through a different interview that I saw, somebody was interviewing him, and he made a good point that every fight thus far between Pacquiao and Marquez has been an excellent fight, and you can't argue that. It's just, to me, I believe it's at this point a done deal. It's a case that's been closed because of the way that Marquez ended that last fight. Even though Manny was winning the fight, and it was an exciting fight for as long as it lasted, but I think Marquez just put an end to that saga, and I don't think it should be done again. And I don't think Marquez wants that at all. And from what I got from the post-fight interview with Max Kellerman, it sounded to me like he's gonna he's gonna sit back, enjoy some time with his family, and talk about it with them and his team. But if anything, to me, it sounded like he hinted towards retirement, because he said, he ended the fight perfectly in the fourth fight against Pacquiao, and really there's nothing more to prove there. And by the way, HBO, I don't know how that guy has still had a job to this day translating, but that guy is one of the worst translators ever, and he didn't really get across what Marquez was trying to say. And Marquez's English is good enough to understand him anyway, so I don't know what that was about. But I think for Marquez, it'd be perfect to just end his career now at this point, um, with a very exciting fight and a win over a very solid warrior like Alvarado. As for Alvarado, he says that he gets better after each fight, and I don't know if he's punch drunk saying that or what exactly he means by that. Because he didn't look good in the early rounds of the fight on Saturday, and he's still like, we all know once he gets tagged or once he gets hit with a good shot, he stops boxing, he stops doing whatever he was doing before to try to win the fight and just goes into warrior mode and starts throwing punches and mixing it up and exchanging. And so really I don't know where he can go from here and where he will go from here. Also for Marquez, Brandon Rios has said he'd love to fight him. Although as much as I love Rios and his approach to fighting and he wants to be in wars, I think Marquez would be way too much for him, just like he was for Alvarado. And that's that. But if anything, Alvarado and Rios might be able to fight for a third time. They have a win apiece, so why not do that again? But other than that, I don't know where Alvarado goes from here, but it looks like he's kind of done with 140. I don't know how he even makes 140. And for Marquez, like I said, hopefully he hangs him up and enjoys his victory, and he has nothing left to prove in the sport, period. And that's my thoughts after the fight.